Hello everybody, it's George from Ireland. Well, I don't really need this, but my snout was getting a bit cold. Anyway, here I am at Eton, and this video is about that Mr. Noland, who was just dismissed a few days ago for publishing that video in which he critiqued radical feminism, the idea that there's a patriarchy through most of the society, and that this indomitable desire of men to oppress women is what keeps women down and so on. To really men have it all their own way. So he took issue with that, and he critically analysed this feminist belief, which is holy writ these days amongst the liberal left. And Mr. Simon Henderson, he's the headmaster of Eton, he was promoting this idea, and he believed that according to the Equalities Act that Mr. Noland's video shouldn't be shown to the boys, and indeed it wasn't, but Mr. Noland published it elsewhere, and he was asked to take it down several times. He refused to do so, and he lost his job. So that's the controversy. But it touches on issues of free speech, on indoctrination, and as one boy apparently said, and I saw this in a newspaper, I think it was the Daily Mail, that 1984 was supposed to be a warning, not a manual. So there you can see Upper School behind me, which in the early 19th century was the main building. Dr. John Keat, the headmaster at the time, he taught up to 100 boys there at the time. That there's College Chapel and so on. So I thoroughly recommend that you watch that video. It's on YouTube by Mr. Noland. It's utterly enthralling, and it's very well sourced, very persuasive. You might not agree with what he says, maybe he's dead wrong, but it is worth at least listening to. I thought maybe it would be good if they balanced it by having people listen to a video putting the opposite case. But I think the idea is they've more or less heard that. But are we ramming radical feminism down people's throats? It's extraordinary, and it's reached a stage where Gavin Williamson, the Education Secretary, has said that Eton ought to go mixed. It's not a bad idea. I think Eton's probably a good school despite being single-sex, not because it's single-sex. I don't think I would object. But anyway, as an old boy, I don't arrogate to myself the right to dictate what goes on here. I know someone was chairman of the Board of Governors in Gordonstoun years ago, and he detested the way a certain headmaster was running the show and thought that the school shouldn't have evolved from the way it was when this particular man was at Gordonstoun. You have to accept that time moves on. Sometimes you don't like the way things are going in a school, your old school, but that's often not the headmaster's fault, because the law has changed and there's a new zeitgeist, and because of that spirit of the age, got to do things differently. Some ways it's changed for the better. There we are. It's absolutely scintillating, that talk, and is very well supported with numerous quotations, ample evidence, links to various articles in academic magazines, really questioning this shibboleth that men keep women down. It's probably not completely nonsense. It depends which country you're talking about. In like Saudi Arabia, I think it'd be largely true, but not somewhat someone like the Netherlands or Sweden. So there we go. That is the controversy surrounding the video, wherein an Eton beak, he questioned radical feminism and thought that it's largely specious and that people ought not believe in this. But hard not to feel sorry for Mr. Henderson. Okay, you might disagree with the original decision saying you can't show this, you can't broadcast. I do disagree with that. But having made that decision, surely a teacher has to abide by it. Otherwise, there's no discipline amongst the staff. The headmaster's got the right to make a wrong decision, or sometimes make a contentious decision, an unpopular one. But nevertheless, his word's got to be obeyed. And if you're going to totally disobey him on something quite vital, something published, then you have to go. So I think Lord Waldegrave, the Provost of Eton, is the living head of the Board of Governors. He's right to make that decision. Anyway, that's my penny's worth on this whole radical feminist lecture furore. Toodaloo.